Next up is Kanishk from Coin. How many people have ordered a coin? Did anybody hear? Oh, whoa, holy shit. The same people who took an Uber. There's literally, I think that was about 1/3 of the audience has ordered a coin. 1/3 of this audience has ordered your product. These are your people. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Have a seat. Now, so this is going to be a real treat and very, I think, noteworthy in terms of the press. You have my credit card?
I do.
You took my credit card.
But you can give it back to me right now.
Okay, now
so
I got my
use it.
credit card. Now, you gave that to the union. They swiped it.
Right.
Yeah, okay. You have Coin with you.
Yeah, so because of this conference over the weekend, we kind of rushed and slapped the coin together. Even though the real ones aren't manufacturing, we just got some ahead. So I can't promise it's going to work, but I'm going to try and see if I can show you guys how it works.
Anybody want to see how it works? All right. Well, you got a lot of people who ordered it. Now, let's just, for the people in the room who don't know what a coin is, let's take it out here and talk about it a little bit and tell them what it is.
So Coin is a connected digital device. And what it does is it holds all your cards, like your credit, your debit, your gift cards. And then it just lets you use those cards everywhere normally cards are accepted. And it's basically designed to kind of like simplify and secure your data. And it's kind of bringing the analog, like magnetic stripe data into the digital age. Because inside a coin are processors and screens, and it's basically like a tiny little computer.
Now, these you were selling for $50 or $100? What do they go for? $50. And you can put how many cards into the one coin card?
Right, so this has been something I've been trying to tell folks is that, like on a coin itself, we have said that you should put about 8 cards on it.
8 cards.
But it can hold thousands.
You could hold thousands of cards.
The reason we say 8 is because it's a single button. If you have 50 on there and you miss the one, then you have to go
rotate
49 around to get to it. So we just said, look, 8 is a good limit for a weekly basis. But what happens is the rest of your cards, you know, the ones that you don't use that often are in your phone, so you can move them over to a coin if needed.
Got it.
Almost immediately, like within like 15, 30 seconds.
Okay, well, let's see the coin here. Let's take it out.
Okay, so.
Take a look. Now, a lot of disclaimers. This is a prototype, obviously.
Yeah, so we spent a bunch of time getting this ready. But again, something could fail, so I just want to warn you guys.
So here we go. We're over the shoulder. And that's the app we're seeing there.
Right, so this is a two-phase demo.
Okay.
First, what I'm going to do is, did I give you a card back?
You did give me the card back.
Can
I'll
I have
give
it back?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no video yet. Okay, let's. Do you want to plug in? Well, we can see the app too. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Okay, so let's pull the video from the camera on the stage up. There we go. Okay, beautiful. Look at this. So you're launching the Coin app. There it is. Beautiful logo. You're putting in a PIN number. We all know your PIN now. That's great.
So this is a special app just for demoing.
And everybody now knows my credit card. Great.
So here what I'm doing is I'm taking Jason's card and I'm trying to put this in the app.
So you're going to put that in the app. Okay, so you're taking, looks like you're taking a picture there of my card. Okay, everybody knows my card. That's fantastic. All right, beautiful. Wow. Sir, did you order 19 MacBook Airs? Yes, I did. And I shipped them to 19 different locations. Okay.
So here I'm adding some of the information.
Yeah.
When you order a coin, you're going to do this once.
Yeah, you're putting in like my secret security code for everybody to see. Great.
So
just in case they ask on the phone. That's good.
So this is just for demo. What we're going to do is we're going to put a one-time auth on the account, just so even if you do this with somebody else's card, you can't get past this point unless you really know some details. So for now, this is just for demo's sake.
Just for demo's sake, got it. And yeah, we're going to think through these demos next time. Okay, so now you're sliding. Okay, and my card goes through.
And there it is.
Okay, so now my
now
card.
it's inside the Coin app, right?
Okay.
So this is all my cards are here.
Okay. Well, that's.
So now the idea is you'll add all your cards here. But once they're here, you got to pick the ones you want to use a lot and put them on a coin. So let me take out a coin.
All right. It's an exciting moment here.
So forgive the appearance. I just Sharpied it.
It's coming out of a little bag there. Look at this. Wow, this is really like 3D printed prototype here. Oh, wow.
So this is So basically, you can see it's like a clearing casing, but I just sharpened it black, so we don't give away all our secrets just now.
Okay, so now let's take a look at this.
So this is the syncing process right here.
Okay.
You press the sync button on the app.
Sync on the app.
And this is the card I just added. I call it safe.
Okay, my safe card that's
Then
no
I press
longer
the sync
safe.
button.
Yep. Syncing over.
Now, this thing is waiting for a Bluetooth connection from Coin. So I'm just going to press and hold this button on Coin for 3 seconds.
Here we go.
1.
We're pressing, we're holding, and we're going to sync Jason's card over.
Syncing.
Syncing.
Done.
Done. Okay.
So
So
now,
what just happened?
So I just took the card you gave me, and I added it to this coin.
Now this coin, can I hold that for a second? So this feels, just so people in the audience know, that feels the same as this. In fact, my card feels heavier in a way and stiffer than this. This feels even thinner and simpler. What's the difference in thickness?
So they're roughly the same thickness. Like there are about 0.8, 0.9 millimeters.
Okay.
But I think eventually we want to make a coin feel like a card in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before we go for heavy metal and super incredible metal cards.
And we have a screen here that would give information on which card I'm using.
Yeah, that screen is in a weird state right now. So
yeah, but
this is random numbers.
This is like a what do they call that? E-ink or something?
It's an e-paper screen.
E-paper screen, and then this little button here is the button you press to rotate through my cards.
Yep.
So if I had 10 cards on here, I just go 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is my business card. 6 is my card I use for hotels, for hotel miles. 7 is my American Express Platinum card to get a free whatever discount. And now I don't carry 10 of these, I carry 1 of these.
Precisely.
But this acts just like a regular card.
Yeah, so the loop is finished when you go to some app like Square.
Okay, that's Square.
Or any cash register. And then what you would do is actually you would go ahead and so I'm going to try and charge you $1 here.
And this is with the first prototype. Wait a second, I'm not giving you $1?
Yeah, you are.
Well, that's a cheap speaking fee, I like it.
I can charge you
I'm
again.
going to start paying all my speakers $1. I would have given you $18 to do it, but.
And there you go.
Wow, so a big round of applause for that. All right, so I think we're good. We've got it. We can now buy this one consumer electronic device and not carry 10 credit cards anymore.
Yes.
How is this technically possible? And if it is technically possible, which it seems to be, why did this not exist already in the world? As an entrepreneur, we always ask ourselves, why doesn't something exist? Did nobody think of the idea of consolidating 10 cards onto one super hyper intelligent one with an e-ink screen or e-paper screen?
Yeah, so technically, the way this is possible is through some interesting manufacturing processes where all electronics have to be less than 0.5 millimeters tall. And another way it's possible is by having really low energy chips and writing code that's really low energy so that it can stay alive for a while. Because we don't want to put another device you have to charge in your life, basically. We want it to work out of the box.
So this doesn't have a USB port, because a USB port or a micro USB port would be even thicker than the card. So how does it charge? Is there a battery in there or something?
So this has been a topic of controversy. We decided that we would have it run for 2 years at a time. And we thought that was a solve because you don't have to charge another device. But a lot of times we get messages saying something like, well, it only runs for 2 years.
Right, it only runs for 2 years.
After that? But I can understand why, because a normal card just doesn't die. If you just don't use it, it'll just sit around forever, essentially. Right. So I get it. But I just want everyone to know that by having a long battery life like that, it just doesn't have the hassle of charging. Because what happens to any device you have to charge is that it runs out of battery at the wrong time, right? And we don't want the batteries running out when you're paying.
Right. How did you come up with this idea? And back to that original question of it didn't exist in the marketplace, but is there some new technology that makes it capable of doing this thin? Is it the e-paper that is the key?
That's a good point. Yeah. So, for example, Bluetooth Low Energy didn't really exist until 2010 or so.
And it didn't work.
Yeah, and stabilized over the years. So the product's only maturing, and we rely heavily on it for not only transferring data, but also creating a leash feature, where if you leave a coin behind, it'll tell you forgot it.
So if I leave the coin behind and the coin is unpaired from my phone, it will blare an alarm or something, or just give me a push notification.
So Bluetooth was a key piece of tech that we needed to make this possible, and that wasn't around until recently. Also, these screens, these are 0.3 millimeter screens that really, still aren't in wide distribution, the e-paper screens.
Right.
So they are still something new. And, last but not least, these weren't around. Right? These only came around in the last, 2008 or so. So without this, this is not possible.
Right.
So in the world of hardware, when it takes several years for things to get going, there's no way to get things out immediately. So this is pretty much as fast as something like this could have come around.
How many people in the audience, by a show of hand, would like to try Coin at some point, like have Coin and not have to carry 9 credit cards? Yeah. Okay, so that's everybody. So you found a product that every single person wants to use that nobody had made before. That must have been shocking to you when you came upon the point that everybody wants this. How many people have pre-ordered this? Have you announced how many pre-orders there are?
Yeah, it was very shocking that folks wanted it, but from talking to everyone before it launched, there was interest in it. So I felt like there were some people out there, and we were just trying to target an initial set of users. A lot more people than we thought ordered one, but we still haven't announced how many, because we're going to wait till we start shipping them,
Got it.
Because we really want to make sure that the product gets out. We want to focus on the product.
Now, somebody like American Express or Visa or MasterCard, they would not want a product like this to exist in the world, or they would? I mean, it seems like if you put all the cards into one, that may change their wallet share, if you will. How do the big credit card companies look at what Coin is doing?
The big credit card companies have been trying to make devices like these for a long time, actually. And I've only found that out after getting into this business.
Really?
Yeah, the first ones were made in like 1990s, late 1990s. And because there's value in going digital. There's more security in digital, right? So what we have actually done is made some progress in that domain, essentially, and created a market.
When you have my 8 credit cards in one device in one app, and do you have access then to all my purchasing history as well? We put you in an incredible position in terms of making me additional offers.
Yeah, so off the bat, Coin does not know what you're buying.
Okay.
It can't really know that, because all Coin is doing is it's transferring the payment data over to the register, and then the register handles everything. Right?
So you don't actually see the transaction?
Yeah, we don't see the transaction. We just know you used it, basically, because the Coin is a device. So, but long term, there is value in that, and we'll start looking into it, once we get past these first stages.
I'm assuming that if I had a Starwood card in there and a Platinum card in there and a couple of other type of business cards, you could offer me a new card from another vendor, and I could in one click put it on my Coin. Is that the eventual business model of this?
That is, one of my favorite features. The use case is something like, you're at Macy's or Nordstrom's and you're at the cash register, and normally how they ask you, like, hey, do you want the Macy's card? It's 40% off if you get one.
Right.
And you're like, I do, but then I don't want to fill out this paperwork and wait for you to make a phone call and get a piece of paper which has my card number on it, and then it'll come in the mail 2 weeks later. Like, it's a laborious process. With something like Coin, what can happen is you can literally grab the information, the financial data in your app, because you can see the offer inside a Coin app and just tap it. And since we know who you are, we can get you validated. And if you get approved, it can be all delivered, through the wire and onto your Coin, so you can swipe like within a minute of trying to get that card, which is really of value to both the customer and the merchant.
Yeah, it'd be amazing to just get issued a new card instantly that I could use, and I would guess you get a pretty good bounty on that. I know the bounties on cards are pretty phenomenal if you get somebody to sign up for a new one.
I believe there's a good bounty on it, so we have to discuss what is that bounty.
Yeah. So this is the sort of if this becomes the 1.0, where do you think this winds up going? Because a lot of people have, basically said, hey, the future is that you just come in with your phone, it recognizes your phone, and you pay with your phone, right? But how many people have actually walked into somewhere and paid with their phone for something in this audience? How many people? Raise your hand high. That's actually, I bet you it's Starbucks. How many people have used Starbucks to pay with their phone? Okay, so it is exactly Starbucks. How many have used something other than the Starbucks app to pay for something? Very few. Yeah, well, medium, like maybe 5% of the audience. So would this have the ability with low-to Bluetooth to do what people think the phone will do in terms of saying, because, I mean, taking out the app from Starbucks and getting it to scan is the same as taking out your card. That doesn't save any time, but walking in and not taking it out of your pocket, the person seeing your picture and you leaving with your coffee is the holy grail. Do you think that's where this is going to wind up at some point?
Yeah, so this is, the answer to this, I can talk for hours. And if I want to boil it down, I think the key is that any system that you use that's through some device, it has to be able to scale with you. So you need to use it day after day without really thinking hard about it. So Starbucks did a great job. If you walk into Starbucks and you're using the barcode, then you're using the barcode. You just got used to it. They give you rewards to give you incentive to use it. And otherwise, if you do go pay with your phone at a different merchant, you go to another merchant and they might not accept it. So what will happen is that you really have to be vigilant in using your phone in order to pay for it. And I've tried to pay with my phone whenever I have a chance. And I've not been successful in remembering to do it every time because eventually I'm in a rush and I'll just quickly, out of habit, reach for my cards and just use it. So the scalability, the rolling out process, is long and laborious, and it's going to take a while. Another thing to notice that, it's been professed that we're going to pay with smartphones, but since making these devices, I'm a software guy, and it's only been like a year and a half in this space, and I'm making hardware devices. So it's becoming more and more approachable and possible to make devices, right? So, this has an ARM processor. This has an ARM processor. It's a mobile device, right? So we will pay with mobile devices. In fact, as soon as you get your coin, you'll be paying with a mobile device. So I just want to, differentiate between device and the phone,
right?
Basically.
So what have you learned being a software engineer who had to build hardware? How is it different to build this than it is just build the app? What did you have to learn? What did you have to change about your entrepreneurial software process and running a startup to actually ship this to what I'm going to assume is probably thousands or tens of thousands of people in the first version?
That's also something I talk about for a while. Basically, the biggest difference between making a software startup and a hardware startup is that you have to make the thing before you can make the app. So you can't take this for granted and write the app. You have to make this, then make the app. So it just adds extra work.
Yeah.
Now, to do that extra work, you need to have a different skill set. And part of it is, knowing electronics. Then other part is knowing how to procure all your parts, which is the supply chain, right? And the last is you have to get used to working a lot longer before you make anything, because you just can't get it done that fast. Like, for example, like Coin, let's say we do a build. We say, look, we're ready. We want to use the next, we're going to make the next version of Coin. Then we have these, I don't know how many partners that we send all this CAD data to, and then they start making, PCBs. Then it goes to assembly, then it goes to bonding, then it goes to encapsulation. Then it's tested along the way, and we have a bunch of yields. So in the end, we end up with like 2 when we try to make 100. And when you put that into manufacturing, which is the next step after you do all these development builds, is that you have to be able to scale to 1,000, 10,000, and so on, and you have to stabilize the process as you go. And that's like this really intense, expensive process of ramping up, right? So you have to, first have a bunch of people working with their hands, and if you realize what you can make automatic, then you have to hire folks who can automate those things, and you have to ramp volume over time. So it's a bunch more work.
All right, well, let's hear it for Kanishk from Coin. Very well done, and it worked. So when do you think because there were a lot of people here who ordered it, when are they going to get it?
This summer, working really hard. So right now in our current stages, we're trying to make like thousands, like 1,000, 2,000, all these things are in process. And once we do those, we just this morning sent an email to our backers saying that sign up for a beta program. So of those thousands we're trying to make, the good ones will go to the beta program. And that's where we want to collect tons of feedback. Everything good, everything bad, anything that can be improved. Love to get tons and tons of feedback on this product before we get it to everyone.
All right, let's hear it once again for Coin. Well done.
Thank you.
And I get to keep this, right?